Are you struggling to achieve your goals? What if I told you that with the proper tools, you can actually be successful? Welcome and welcome back. My name is Margo Staten of BeGoodToYourselfByMargo.com, and welcome to my channel. Here, I teach you simple strategies to improve your quality of life. So in my experience, when working with clients and they talk about goals, most of their goals kind of in theory live inside their head, or maybe they, tell a loved one about it or a family member or their kids. But there's not really any kind of goal setting taking place. Now, I'm not going to get into goal setting. This video is specifically about tools that don't cost you anything and that you can essentially utilize starting today. But what you do need to know is for goal setting, the most important thing is to actually write things down, right? Whether it's putting them down on paper or in your, your notes or in a Google Calendar, but that's really like the number one strategy to achieve your goals. But today we're going to talk about 7 tools that you guys can use. And again, you can pick whichever one, you resonate with, that'll actually help you achieve your dream goals. So number one, and you probably hear this a lot, is journal. There are a lot of goal setting journals around. Again, it is imperative to write down your goals. So you can invest in a journal. I published a journal called Plan With Me. Again, it's extremely simple. It essentially outlines what your goal is, why you want to achieve it, what you need to do to make it happen, and sort of the motivation behind it. And I'll leave a link in the description below. Another thing that you can do for folks that don't want to invest in a journal, right, that don't want to purchase anything, is you can actually just take a notebook. I created a 1-pager for me that really, really works. And essentially you can write down your goal. For me, one of my goals is to create a goal setting course for you guys. So my goal is goal setting course, right? And then I kind of broke down my goal into 3 sub goals. So for example, it's getting familiar with the technology that I'm going to be using, the software, how to do it, all that fun stuff. So it's really learning about the platform that's going to be hosting the course. Number 2 is to actually create the course and review it. And number 3 is essentially to launch it, right? So those are kind of my 3 mini targets that I need to complete in order to achieve my goal of creating the goal setting course, right? And then under each one, literally this is what I use. And then under each one, I have action steps. So for example, learn tech and how to create a platform. What are the action steps that I'm going to take? Well, I am going to learn how to do that, whether it's through a training, a course, a mentor, right? And then of course, I'm going to have to create my accounts on the website that's going to be hosting it. Now, my second mini goal is to essentially create it and review it, right? So then I break that down into additional steps, and it's create content, obviously do the video and the audio, create worksheets and resources, and then maybe have some of my existing clients and peers take a look at it, give me feedback before it really launches, right? And the third one was to release it and to launch it. And obviously that has to do with, posting it on my website and a lot of the promos, and where I'll be promoting it, right? Whether it's YouTube or, Instagram, Pinterest. So that's kind of how it works. And it's the same thing that you find in a journal. So typically when I have, when I'm tracking a lot of goals, I use the journal, but on a daily basis, I prefer sort of these 1-pagers to kind of, hang up on my wall in front of my laptop or whatnot, and have it always be in my face so I know specifically what I'm working on. And the other thing is for my launch, I kind of circled it because I would like to have all of this done by April 1st, right? So again, that is an amazing tool. You can use a journal, you can use a sheet of paper. If you're interested in something like this, again, I can post a link to a printable down below. Number 2, if you prefer tech over, paper, there are a lot of apps that you can use that track your goals. One of them is actually called Way of Life. I believe, no, it's compatible with both Android and iPhone. And it's really good to kind of track your daily tasks, right? It has reminders that can go up. It has a coach me capability, so you can actually have support, but it's mainly for short-term goals and habits. And again, whether it's Way of Life as an app or any of there's tons of apps available, I think the key is to find one that works for you. I'm very, very minimalistic in my organization. I am somebody that if I'm using an app, I do not want 500 different features and a bunch of different tabs, right? I want it to be very, very clear, very, very specific and to the point. Again, that is my preference. So kind of browse, and find an app that works for you. But Way of Life, I think, is a fantastic app to start with. Number 3, for goal setting tools is creating a space that has a lot of motivation surrounding it, right? So for example, for me, I have affirmations all over my house. I have motivational sayings, on my laptop, on my refrigerator, because there are obviously going to be days where I'm quite frankly discouraged or not motivated to do things, right? So I find that it's a very, very simple tool to kind of take a few moments, maybe even use a Post-it, write down your favorite motivational sayings and kind of post them all over your space. Number 4, I swear by this, I would be lost without it, are setting alarms. And actually apps can do that for you as well. I personally prefer Alexa. So I think it's a very easy tool to sort of set alarms to remind you to do certain things as part of your goal. So it could be things like if your goal is to drink more water, you can set 6, 7, 8 alarms throughout the day that go off, whether it's through Alexa or on your smartphone, that go off reminding you that you need to stop what you're doing and drink a glass of water. So I think alarms are fantastic. I think that they're extremely underutilized. You really, guys, for tools, you do not have to get fancy, and these things actually work. Number 5, practice visualization. Again, this is something that does not cost you anything, but it really helps to change your mindset. So one of the things that I used to struggle with is I'm extremely fantastic at organization. Like I can organize the crap out of anything, right? In a very, very simple way, but if a type of organization doesn't exist, I actually create it, right? I like my life very, very organized. But one of the things that I used to struggle with is sort of having a limiting belief mindset. So for example, I'd want to achieve a goal of, let's say, exercising 5 days a week, but I could never see myself doing it, right? I had it written down on paper and that was great. I had alarms, but I didn't really see myself as somebody who's very, very fit. I've been lucky to be blessed with genes where I'm naturally slim, but I wanted to get more toned. I wanted to feel healthier. And when it came to sort of my mindset and envisioning these things, I kind of had a lot of blocks that I had to work through. And again, this is not a video about that, but it wasn't until I started truly visualizing. And for me, I used vision boards to kind of help with that. Until I started visualizing myself exercising. I took it a step further. When am I exercising? What am I wearing? What kind of exercise I'm doing? So it was really a combination of kind of having it down on paper as well as visualizing myself actually doing these things. And for that particular goal, it made me much more successful. So I do recommend it. I think it's a really nice, easy tool. I do warn you that some of you guys will struggle. I mean, I did, I really struggled visualizing this, and it took time, and I kind of kept pushing through it. I was looking at pictures and, all of this stuff. And again, I had my vision board where I had my exercise equipment and kind of Zumba as what I'm doing and sort of my perfect body type. And that kind of helped my mind to eventually just be free and wander and visualize these things for myself. And I was able to successfully complete that goal and stick with it. Number 6, hire a coach. So this is one of those tools that actually does, will have some kind of out-of-pocket cost, but I think that for some of you, there will be a lot of value. Hiring a coach, and look guys, there are coaches available for absolutely everything, whether it's finances or a fitness coach or, a business coach or a life coach or whatever your goal is, right? There are coaches available. You can find them on Instagram, you can find them on Facebook, you can find them on LinkedIn, you can just use Google. And I think the key here is that sometimes no matter how much we set our goals, we find ourselves being stuck. And it takes the perspective of somebody who has been through this before, who doesn't necessarily know us, to kind of review everything that we're doing and advise as to how we might be able to do it better. I've had several coaches throughout my professional career. You know, some of them were fantastic, some of them I didn't necessarily vibe with. But it has given me a lot of support and a really unique and valuable perspective on the various goals that I was trying to work with. So I do want to urge you and kind of give you a sign of caution in that you need to find a coach that you resonate with that works for you, right? It shouldn't just be the first coach that you kind of found and you stuck with them. Absolutely not. It really is an interview process, and you want to find somebody who understands you, understands the goals and why you're planning to do this, and in general, just communication-wise, it works. And finally, number 7 is my recommendation as a tool for goal setting and really goal achieving is join groups. You know, go on Eventbrite, search meetups. I think that if you surround yourself by people who are in the same stage of achieving a goal, whether it's diet or exercise or career changes or, you know, education or, like I said, finances, whatever it is your goal is, surrounding yourself with people who are doing what you want to do, right? So you can kind of learn from them, or are in the initial stages like you are, and kind of building a network and a family around that particular goal to offer support. You're going to achieve your goal much faster than if you didn't have that. Again, this is something that for a very long time I did not actually do, but then I really kind of hit it hard after listening to a talk. I forgot who was giving the talk at the moment, but in general, how important it is. You are who you surround yourself with. So I think it's very, very important to surround yourself with people who you can learn from and maybe even share some of your successes and failures with them as well. And it's kind of this symbiotic give and take relationship. But again, Eventbrite, meetups, you know, there's tons of groups on Facebook. My recommendation is join them, work, you know, learn from them, share with them, and you're going to be able to achieve your goals much quicker. So those are my 7 tips on how to achieve your dream goals using a variety of different tools. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so, and the like button. I release brand new videos every Wednesday, and always remember to be good to yourself.